Cambridge, Advanced Level Economics Revision. Unit 7, The Price System and the Microeconomy. The topic is utility. We are going to cover marginal utility analysis. Utility is the satisfaction, joy or pleasure that comes from using a product. There are two approaches to studying utility. One is marginal utility analysis, and the other is indifference curve analysis. We are considering marginal utility analysis first. Marginal utility analysis is based on the belief that utility can be measured in quantitative units. Another major assumption of this approach is that consumers are rational. A rational consumer will always consume products that will lead to maximum satisfaction. It is also known as cardinal utility approach. Measures of utility. Total utility is the combined satisfaction from consuming all the units of a product. The extra satisfaction that comes from consuming an additional unit of a product is known as marginal utility. The formula for calculating marginal utility is change in total utility divided by change in quantity. The graph shows the relationship between marginal utility and total utility. When marginal utility is decreasing, total utility increases. When marginal utility is zero, total utility is at maximum. Total utility decreases when marginal utility becomes negative. The law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing marginal utility states that, as consumption increases, the satisfaction from every extra unit decreases. This law is based on some assumptions. Number 1. Utility can be measured in quantitative units. Number 2. Consumers are rational as they seek to maximize their satisfaction. Number 3. Consumption must be continuous. There must not be a time gap for the law to be true. Number 4. Tastes, incomes and preferences remain the same throughout the period. Number 5. The product can be divided into smaller units. For example, it is not applicable to a house or car. Number 6. The good should not be addictive. There is a relationship between marginal utility and price. The marginal utility, or extra satisfaction, derived from consuming a product determines the price a consumer is willing to pay for it. Due to the law of diminishing marginal utility, as quantity consumed increases, the marginal utility decreases. Therefore, as quantity increases, price falls because the marginal utility falls. Equimarginal principle is used to determine consumer equilibrium under the marginal utility analysis approach. Consumer equilibrium occurs when the consumer derives maximum satisfaction and cannot increase total utility by reallocating expenditure between the goods purchased. It occurs when the marginal utility per price of all the goods consumed are equal. The equimarginal principle is based on certain assumptions, which are also its limitations. They include limited income, rational consumer, utility can be measured. The steps involved in determining consumer equilibrium using the equimarginal principle are: 1. Compute the marginal utility, MU, for each good. 2. Divide the MU by price for each good. 3. Select the combination that has equal marginal utility per price. 4. Compute the total expenditure on the combination. An example of consumer equilibrium. Determine the combination that maximizes utility if the price of an apple is $10, the price of a mango is $5, and the consumer's income is $50. Step 1. For each product, the marginal utility is calculated. Step 2. Marginal utility is divided by price. Step 3. Select the combination where MU divided by price are the same, that is, 3 apples and 4 mangoes. Step 4. Compute the total expenditure on the selected combination to ensure all the income of $50 is spent. In some questions, the selected combinations may be 2, but the right answer is the one that ensures all income is spent. Derivation of the demand curve. The marginal utility can be used to derive the demand curve. Both the marginal utility and the demand curve slope downward. For the marginal utility curve, as quantity increases, marginal utility decreases. For the demand curve, as quantity increases, price falls. The link is that as more units are being consumed, the less the satisfaction from the extra unit. This means that the price consumers are willing to pay falls as quantity increases due to falling marginal utility. If the quantity decreases, the price the consumer is willing to pay will rise, because he values the product more if he has less of it. This is why the demand curve is downward sloping, and there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity. We can also explain the relationship between price and quantity demanded by using the equimarginal principle formula: marginal utility of good A divided by the price of good A. Rational consumers will buy more units of a product when the marginal utility per price rises. If the marginal utility per price decreases, they will purchase fewer units. A rise in price causes a fall in MU per price, and a fall in the quantity demanded. A fall in price causes a rise in MU per price, and a rise in quantity demanded. Therefore, a rise in price leads to a fall in the quantity demanded and vice versa. The limitations of marginal utility analysis. The assumptions of this approach can be criticized and used as its limitations. Number 1. It is assumed that utility can be measured. In reality, this is not true. Utility cannot be expressed in quantitative units, because the satisfaction derived from consumption varies by individual, time, or circumstance. Therefore, utility is psychological. It also assumes that consumers are rational. Many consumer choices don't result in the highest level of satisfaction, for example, impulse buying resulting from persuasive advertising. Some products cannot be divided into smaller units, making it impossible to quantify utility from every unit of the product. Are consumers rational? A rational consumer achieves maximum satisfaction from consuming a product. He is armed with adequate information to make the best buying decision after comparing the associated costs and benefits. A rational consumer is a perfect creature with excellent computational skills and mental capacity to calculate the probabilities of what will happen when making decisions. Reasons why, in reality, consumers are irrational. They have limited capacity to calculate all costs and benefits of a decision. They are also influenced by their social network. For example, they purchase products due to recommendations from friends without doing their cost-benefit analysis. Consumers sometimes will act reciprocally by buying from someone, because the person will return the favor. Consumers also buy due to emotions, e.g., impulse buying due to persuasive advertising. Many consumers will buy a product if they are told that it will prevent them from losing money, because many are averse to losses.